Good evening, dear students. Welcome to the second part of our chapter, Fiber to Fabric. Yesterday, we have learned about the different types of fibers, the definition of fiber, fabric, and yarn. So, let's solve some problems or check your understanding. So, fill in the blanks. The process of removing dash from the cotton fiber is called as ginning. What is removed during ginning? Seeds. Right. Now, the second question. Yarn is made from fiber. Nylon is a dash fiber. Which type of fiber is nylon? It is a synthetic fiber. Now, next question is wool and silk are natural fibers obtained from animals. I have told natural fibers are of two types. First, plant fibers and animal. Second is animal fibers. So, wool and silk are natural fibers which are obtained from animals. Now, the threads or yarns are made from thin fluffy strands called, what is it called? It is called fiber. So, yarns are produced from fibers. Now, a question for you. What is lamp wick made of? Have you helped your mama to make the wick of oil lamp? It is made of cotton wool. Now, what are the fruits of cotton plant called as? It is cotton ball, which is of lemon sized. From which part of plant cotton fiber is obtained? It is obtained from the fruit of the cotton plant. From where do we get silk? We get silk from the cocoon of silkworms. And the last question, what is separated out from cotton fibers in the process of ginning? We separate the seeds of cotton from the cotton fibers which surround the seeds. Now, yesterday we talked about the plant fiber cotton. Now, let's discuss jute. So, jute in Hindi it is called as patsan, pat or patua. Now, it is obtained from the stem of jute plant. The jute fiber is obtained from stem of jute plant. Cotton is obtained from the fruit of cotton plant, while jute is obtained from the stem of jute plant. Jute is one of the cheapest natural fiber and it is grown best in warm and humid climate, and it requires a loamy soil. It requires a loamy soil and it is cultivated during the rainy season. Mainly it is grown in West Bengal, Bihar and Assam. And the harvesting of this jute plant is done at the flowering stage. We harvest the jute plant during the flowering stage. When they start flowering, then we harvest the jute plant or the crop. Now, after harvesting the crop, these plants are left for some days in the field, and then when the leaves are dried up, then they are tied together here like this. They are tied together into bundles and then immersed in stagnant water. This is stagnant water. Stagnant water is in a pond. Still water which is not moving is stagnant water. In stagnant water, what happens? Gummy matter that holds the fibers with its stem is eaten away by bacteria, and this process is called as retting. This process is called as retting, and after that it loosens the bond between the bast fiber, the bast stem fibers and the inner woody fiber stick. And this separated fibrous part is then dried in sun and tied into bundles and sent to the factories. Jute fibers are long, rough, coarse, but they are not very strong. These jute fibers are used for making gunny sacks, mats, door mats, and some fabrics are also made, or fabric for clothes are made out of these jute fibers. And since it is eco-friendly, that is why it is becoming popular nowadays. Now there are some other useful plant fibers like coir and flax. Coir is obtained from the outer covering of coconut fruit, and it is used for making ropes, doormats, mattresses, etc. While flax, it is like jute, it is obtained from the stem of flax plant. Similarly, the same process of retting is used, and because of the stagnant water, the gummy matter that holds the fiber is destroyed by bacteria, and then it is removed. The fibers are removed, they are dried and sent to the factories for preparing the yarn. These flax fibers are used for making linen and laces, and they are also used for making fishing lines and nets. And now the spinning of cotton yarn. We have studied in the previous turn that after ginning, cotton fibers are separated from the cotton seed, and it is traditionally done manually. But nowadays machines are also there, and these machines are called as ginning machines. Then this ginned cotton is compressed into bales, and the weight of one bale is about 200 kgs. And then these bales are sent into spinning mills, where these cotton bales are loosened and cleaned, and then these cotton fibers are converted into ropes like loose strands, which are called as silver. And these strands are then pulled and twisted to make yarn. This brings the fibers together to form a yarn, and because of twisting, these yarns become stronger, and this process of pulling and twisting of cotton fibers is called as spinning. This is spinning. The pulling and twisting of cotton fibers together to produce the yarn is called as spinning. So a simple device which was used for spinning the strands by hand is charkha, and there's another tool, takli. This is your charkha and this is your takli. Our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, used charkha as a symbol of freedom weapon against English in the struggle for freedom. He encouraged people to wear clothes made of homespun yarn and shun the imported cloth made in the mills of Britain. To popularize and promote khadi, the government of India constituted a body called Khadi and Village Industries Commission in 1956. So these are the different instruments or tools which are used for converting those fibers into yarn. And the process of converting the fiber to yarn is called as spinning. So this is our charkha or the spinning wheel, and this is the takli. Now nowadays there are a number of spinning mills are there which uh, which produce yarn. Now after producing the yarn, it is then converted into fabric. How? There are number of processes, but two main processes are weaving and knitting. These are the two main processes through which yarn is converted to fabric. Now, as I have told that converting yarn to fabric, there are basically two processes. First is weaving. So what is weaving? It is the process of arranging two sets of yarns together to make a fabric is called weaving. And to understand this process better, we have to perform an activity. Take two sheets of papers of different colors, like these two sheets here, orange and blue sheets are there, and you have to cut thin stripes out of it. Then you have to weave the stripes one by one through the cuts in the sheet of paper like this. You have to weave the two sheets like this. You have to weave first these orange sheets over the blue sheets, and you have to do this interlacing type of weaving. So in the fabrics also, same pattern is followed and weaving is done. And weaving of fabric is done in looms. The looms are either hand operated or they can be power operated. A hand operated loom is called as hand loom, and a power operated loom is called as a power loom. So this is how weaving is done. These are the looms, and the yarns are interlaced together in these looms. This is a hand loom and this is a power loom. Now the second process for creating a fabric from a yarn is knitting. Have you seen your mama knitting a sweater during winters? So knitting is also a process to make fabric using yarn. In knitting, a single yarn is used to make a fabric. In case of weaving, two yarns are used together, but here in knitting, only single yarn is used to make a fabric, and knitting is done by hand and also by machines. And the examples of knitting is we can prepare socks, sweaters, etc. And these weaving and knittings are used for making different kind of fabrics. These fabrics are used for a variety of clothing items. So student, that's all for today. Revise it well. Tomorrow we will study about the history of clothing materials, and we will summarize the chapter. Thank you, students.